Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Voyager class Dinobot. He is WFC-K18. You can see there he is in his Raptor mode. We'll put that off to the side for now because we're going to look at this box real quick. And yep, it's a Kingdom box. So yeah, you got Transformers. And you got a big old, the little window. You got a big old wraparound picture with a Dinobot in his alt mode and his robot mode, which is a very nice bit of artwork. Looking very angry. Voyager class. He is you can see that. On the top, you got, of course, Predacon symbol, because, well, he is at this, well, I guess technically you started out as Predacon. Also got, that was. Yeah, you got those symbols and the stuff right there. On the side here, you have, of course, the line-wide artwork and authentic Transformers and all that stuff. On the bottom, you got copyrights and whatnot on the bottom. And on the back, of course, you have product shots and warnings and whatnots as well. In the box, you have instructions, which pretty much work all right. I mean, nothing really to write home about there. And of course, a card, and this one actually was Dinobot, so it matches. And of course, once again, it's he's a Predacon here, but of course, you peel away the sticker, and hey, look, it's the future. This is a slightly different picture than the other ones that I have. That's interesting in of itself. That's different. There you go. Yeah. Dinobot, as you see, he's a raptor. Much like the show. Again, kind of very brown, with a lighter brown. He's got, see, of course, like bits and pieces of his robot mode sticking through. Particularly on the bottom, it's like pretty obvious those are his legs. But again, not too bad, all things considered. I mean, for mainline toy, they hide stuff pretty well for a mainline toy. It's there's some like, I mean, this is becoming a thing for like all the Beast Formers so far in the Kingdom line for the most part. But yeah, it's like there's some, unfortunately some robots sticking out. But hey, it's actually all things considered for a $30 Voyager. That's actually a pretty good way of hiding it. And of course, you also can see a little bit of a purple tip there at the tail. You also, yeah, it's he's got pupils picked out in on his face, on his eyes, not. He's also once again that plastic, which is nice textured surfacing right there. So that nice leathery style texturing, and yeah, he's got some articulation in this mode. His mouth can open a little bit, not a whole lot, about that far. It's also very stiff on mine. Man, he's got a tongue picked out in red, and he's got white teeth, white-ish teeth. His head can look down, although that's mostly transformation and it looks weird. But yeah, you can look down there. You can't really turn, can't turn side to side. There's double, it's like multiple hinges here, so you can look or move forward and back on the arms. Move outward, about that far. There's a hinge here at the elbow. There's a ball joint here, so you got, rotation, and you can do that. The arm. The hips, not really too much there, other than you can start to untransform it, and yeah, it looks a little weird, but you can do that. Knees, you got this much articulation back and forth. Yeah, about that much. There's not really a whole lot there, but that can be helpful, I guess, for a pouncing thing, if this doesn't untab itself in the process. There's a swivel down here, and you got a forward and back tilt as well, and the claws can close up and open up as well. So yeah, that's Dinobot's alt mode. I don't really have I don't have the original Dinobot toy. I have the Masterpiece, but again, I don't like to compare Masterpiece to mainline because it kind of is an unfair comparison. Because you got $30 versus $200 essentially. So yeah, it's I don't have the original Dinobot. I never had one as a kid, so I don't have one now. But he's a pretty solid dinosaur, I think, overall. Unless robot bits sticking out really bother you, then yeah, it's pretty solid. Just kind of limit articulation. Transform him, though. It's actually fairly simple in concept. First thing is you got to remove the tail because that's his weapon and it's parts forming, which apparently for some people this is unacceptable that even the weapon couldn't come off. But yeah, take that off. You take the legs and you split them outward like this. Just get those out of the way. because then you take the robot legs. You got it. They kind of tab in weird here, back here, and you got to untab them from that so you can get the rest of the legs untabbed. And it tabs in multiple places here and there. You just got to get those legs and straighten those out right here at the front. Straighten them out at the knees as well. Take the foot, move it forward, unfurl the heel. Straighten that out as much as you can. And then close this up right there, tab in like that. Straighten that out as much as you can again. And then do the same thing on this side. Straighten out the foot. Move the heel out. Close the calf up. And then up here, kind of go to get the arms out of the way, dinosaur arms out of the way. And then you just go ahead and rotate this 180 like that. It's not going to stand super well like this because of the weight, but yeah. Now, what you want to do here is then take the dinosaur head and move that down like that. Take this and start moving that up like that. And what you can do here is get the arms kind of out of the way. And then what you want to do is untab this part and move that back, and that reveals the robot head. And you want to go ahead and start moving this down and move this head back like this. This will kind of tab into here, and this will clip over this little bar. Want to do both of those, and then bring this down, and it's got little tabs on the side which will go into little slots inside the, I guess, socket. You want to do all that, and this will also tab into the back of the underside of the dinosaur head, like all that. All that stuff right there. Done. Now he's going to stand a little better. Probably. There you go. Now you don't want to take these, you want to move these up with the orange pad. You want to make sure the orange shoulder pad moves up as well, because that'll give you a bit of clearance. And you can go ahead and open this up and rotate that down like that. So open this up like that and rotate this down like so. And you want to rotate the shoulders with the pads as well. The shoulder pads also rotate so they're face up like that. And you take the dinosaur arms. Take this, rotate them at the shoulder, and then there's a little slot in the hand which will go over this tab on the arm. As long as it's lined up properly. That arm, and then you go ahead and move that in. You probably have to move that back up to do so. And there's a little tab here, right here, which will also on the tab into a slot on the top of the dinosaur hand, although it's supposed to, although on one side of mine it doesn't really do that. The other side does it just fine. But yeah, just rotate, collapse the hand in, tab it into the arm. That, and then move it forward, and then this will tab into the dinosaur hand. It tabs in a little better on this side. Then you can bring the robot arms back down, then bring them down here at the shoulder, and then rotate the hand outward like this so that this part's facing out, and close it up a little. That's what you do, and then do that. Close it up a little, and there you go. That's Dinobot's robot mode. Yeah, it's all closed up like that. Yeah. So yeah, again, they did a pretty good job of doing the whole make it look more like the show, because they really cheated on the show with the whole his head gets stupid wide and to cover his torso, whatnot. Because yeah, Dinobot's always been a bit thickly built, to say the least. And yeah, they did a pretty good job of cheating, all things considered. These are part of the legs on the dinosaur, but it's not bad. It's pretty clever, and actually, in some ways, works a little better than the actual Mempi version. In some ways, not a whole bunch of ways, but yeah, it looks pretty good. And of course, he's got his weapon, which that's transformed by split this open like that. Just split that open and pull the tail out. Although it's not supposed to do that. You can leave it like this, that's one weapon mode. And you can then open his hand up, and there's a peg and a hole, and there you go. You can do that, if you want. Or of course you can remove the sword. There's a little tab in it, and that can go in that same hole. It wants to actually fit in there. There we go. Close the hand up around it. Doesn't spin doesn't spin at all. Does have a pretty nice nice shiny purple there, but yeah. You can do all that, separate into two separate weapons if you want. So be careful with this thing. If you close the hands too much, it will just kind of pop out because it's not the most solid peg in. It doesn't peg in super solidly because it's a very shallow thing. But there you go. You can hold his weapons. He's a spinning thing, which sometimes is a shield, and then his sword, which also spins. It was always a very kind of strange weapon set if you think about it, but whatever. And again, he's got a bit of a backpack, but nothing too egregious, honestly. That's actually not that bad. I mean, yeah, it sticks out a bit, but honestly, it also collapses pretty well. And yeah, overall, it just looks really well. And I think the transformation's, again, pretty clever along the lines of, say, Black Arachnia, or I guess, no, you'll see her soon, Air Razor. It's a pretty clever thing, all things considered. I mean, working within the limitations of, mainline toy and still making it work and still look like, old cartoon, which cheated super hard. Yeah, they made it work pretty well. So I think that I think it works out. Yeah, articulation though, his head is on a ball joint, so left and right, up and down, lots of waggle. He's got a really articulated head. Works really well. It's also a big head, and he's also again you got the gold here and the blue face and the red eyes. Yeah, really nicely detailed there too. Again, that was one thing I forgot to mention. Lots of the blue and the gold and copper showing up. All that stuff. It works really well. It's the detail. But yeah, the head on the ball joint. Shoulders, can move forward and back. You can see that. He stabbed himself accidentally. Move outward pretty far on that joint, and then this joint lets you move even further. Yeah, that's a lot there. There's a bicep swivel. Works pretty well. Got a elbow, which lots of range, weirdly enough. Yeah, it got full 90 degrees forward and actually quite a bit backwards as well, thanks to the whole dinosaur thing. Got a wrist swivel, which is nice. Got a wrist swivel, his hand can do that. Pretty nice there. And of course, his hands can open and close because they were the dinosaur feet. Then he got a waist swivel, unhindered. Really nice there. His hips forward, about that far. Back, well, that far. Outward, full splits. Got a thigh swivel. Knees, you got about that much range, just a little over 90 degrees, and can also go forward and, yeah, look weird. And ankles, you got, well, a bit downward. You don't really have much upward. There's a maybe tiniest bit of upward because of how it works. The heel, you can move in and out if you need that to be moved for whatever reason for poses. And tilt, you actually got about 90 degrees or so tilt, which is pretty nice. Yeah, that's articulation. Pretty solid articulation for a mainline, and even has some extra bits that often don't appear anymore. Again, wrist swivels being a big one. Wrist swivels are kind of rare on anything that's not at least a leader class. Yeah, good solid there. Comparisons. Here he is with Earthrise Optimus. He's almost as tall as him, so that's quite the height thing. Here he is with Optimus Primal. Again, he's supposed to be taller than him. That works out pretty well. Actually kind of amazing. We actually have almost all the Season 1 Maximals. Here he is with Cheetor. That's the regular Cheetor, not the Netflix one, which is only a little bit better and doesn't improve much of the actual problems I have with him. Here he is was the Rodent. Very big sight difference. I think that one actually might be a little off. I think in this case, yeah, Rat Trap might be slightly too small, but I'm not 100% certain of that. It's been a bit. I need to see a good screen cap, but there you go. And here he is with Beast Wars Megatron from Kingdom. You can see, yep, quite the height difference there. But that's to be expected because Megatron was often the largest character in the show. So, old Chopper face here. I like him. I like him quite a bit. I know some people have been kind of disappointed with him, but again, I think this is one of those things. Beast Wars, for me, the bias of something from my childhood kind of gives him a boost. I personally like him. If you're a Beast Wars fan, you'll probably also like him. If you're, G1, if you're primary G1, you might actually be kind of put off by this guy. His alt node is kind of, you can see a lot of his robots sticking out. And I think his transformation is pretty clever. He's got a pretty good articulation. There's some bits about him, which like, he's got some, I guess, hollow bits, so to speak. Well, they're not that bad, all things considered. There we go. I didn't put those in all the way. And you can see some hollow bits on the back of his legs, but he's I think he's solid. Again, you might disagree. Maybe the alt mode is just you don't like the fact that it's there's still a lot of robots sticking out. There's a couple things that might put you off from this guy, but I think if you're a Beast Wars fan, you're absolutely gonna love this guy, and you're definitely gonna want him if you already have Rat Trap and whatnot. So me personally, I recommend him mostly to Beast Wars fans. G1ers may be kind of be out in the cold on this guy. I don't know, but yeah, I just think I just really like the transformation. Honestly, I was transforming this guy back and forth quite a few times when I first got him. I think it's just pretty clever. Again, considering they had to work within the budget they had to work within, it worked out pretty well. So that's it. I hope you found this review informative or entertaining. I hope you like, comment, subscribe. I hope you check out my Twitter. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1, or check out the Patreon or Coffee. And I'll see you next time with another video review.